Hi, welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophie, your pilot in the Universe of Chinese. Let's continue our exploration in learning, digging just a little bit deeper of the Chinese language. So let's continue with the September streak, which is doing 2-character phrases a day. So Chinese have expressions, and a lot of them, I started with 4-character because a lot of wisdom embedded in 4-character expressions. But the most common builder of meaning blocks are 2 characters. Okay, today we're going to go with 实在. 实在 is a very commonly used Chinese expression. When we say somebody is a 实在, that means that person is being honest, it's being upfront. It's very positive meaning, and almost feels like, because a lot of Chinese, they don't go direct about their intentions. So if somebody do have this quality of being 实在, that is highly appreciated. That means you're going to dealing with me honestly or with transparency, and you're not hiding anything from me. Because I guess still a lot of people are pretty suspicious of especially dealing with a stranger. Okay, so 实在. Made up of a 实. I translated as solid. It came with the meaning of somebody who has property, who is like financially secure in today's lingo. So this big arch thing, that's just a space, right? With a chimney on the top. That means a domestic space. It's a shelter, but it also made it into private property. Somebody's home, you can view it that way. And then within somebody's private property, there is, 2 signs. One is the ancient currency symbol, which is pronounced as bei, and bei is seashell. That used to be used as a currency, because later on we have a government issued or bank issued banknotes that came way later. But before we have any kind of technology that somebody can underwrite or endorse the value of something, people used in the bartering economy era, like when you have something but you don't exactly want that thing from whoever you want to trade, you want the middle interface, right? Currency, the seashell was used. So the seashell came with this shell, right? And then the 2 little dangling feet, they symbolize the soft body, the creatures living in the shell. That whole thing depicting it's a sea creature, how it looks. And then the top have kind of a box with a cross in between, but horizontal line go through the box. It actually depicts the visual of how the ancient currency, especially coins, were stringed together. So, okay, the coins, imagine contemporary coins are a disc, in a disc shape, and then with the value or images or who issued the coin. I guess not in card, molded. I guess the whole coin was molded, so molded into the coin. Ancient times, the coin also have like a who issued it, right? And then in the middle, it was the opening of square. So outside is a circle, it's a disc. In the middle is a square. It's related to the Chinese ancient belief of how the world or the universe shapes. The outside is your kind of outer space look, but the inside the square symbolize the land mass. So apparently, ancient Chinese also view the world as flat. So flat Earth theory also was popular back then. And so this flat Earth with this dome shape of sky, that's the original imagination of the world we're living in. And with that shape, people molded into the coins, but with the convenience of the middle square shape that you can put a string through, so that the whole coins can be stringed together, made into a bigger unit. So instead of, you have to count, things like that. So ancient times, people have their own of stacking money together, put them together. So that's a visual of how money used to be put together. And that simply means a lot of money, right? And if you have to store money, string them together, that means you're solid. Like you have wealth hidden inside your private property. I guess ancient times, people don't really have banks to store their wealth. So they keep whatever savings they had inside their domestic space. So the whole thing came from this financial well-being to mean somebody who is solid, who is not going to go bankruptcy or liquidation anytime soon. So that's Chinese understanding of somebody who has a solid grounding in society, I guess. So that's 实在. I translate it as presence, but actually this character can sort of equivalent to English at, like it means some entity is existing in some space, I guess time and space. So at a certain time and space, through the history at a certain time and space, something ever existed. That's Chinese original of this 在 character. So I translate it as a presence because I think solid presence, kind of the two translation can stand alone and piece together to come up with the meaning of somebody who is authentic or somebody who mean what they say. Okay, presence made of left and right structure. And you can see they almost look the same. Two horizontal lines with one vertical line. And with one big distinction, the left one with this vertical line punctures through the bottom horizontal line versus the right one only like a stop exactly right at or on the second horizontal line. Okay, so first, what are the two horizontal lines? The first horizontal line is the ground level, which separate the space above the ground and below ground. So below ground is the soil. And then the second horizontal line is the indicator. You can vision it almost like a contemporary used indicator sign that's kind of an arrow pointing at something, right? So ancient Chinese, instead of drawing an arrow with this shape in front, right? That's the contemporary symbols we were using to indicate, to point your attention towards something. Ancient Chinese just use horizontal, I guess mostly horizontal lines to signify this is your attention. This is where your attention goes to. Okay, so both of them have this plant. The vertical line is the plant, okay? The plant without signifying exactly what's, like how big the plant is or what kind of plant that is. So without the top portion, like without the grass blades or the tree canopy, without the plenty part of it, only the stalk or the trunk of the plant used like extremely simple, just one vertical line going through the ground level that has both the above the ground and underground portion. That's how plant exists, right, in our world. But the second indicator horizontal line placed at different locations. So the left one placed exactly on the root of the plant. And that means the attention of the viewer is directed toward the root of the plant. So the thing is actually talking about the potential of the plant rooted underground, that it can grow someday into a whatever to fulfill its potential, right? Because the generic code is existing inside the root, versus the right one, the indicator, the horizontal line, go right at the borderline below the very tip or end of the of the root of the plant that indicate it's the surrounding of the root. The surrounding of the root, of course, it's surrounded by soil. So the right symbol is soil, pronounced as 土. The left side is Chinese way to say talent or potential, pronounced as 才. So together, combined, the left side symbolizes the internal quality of something can exist because it's a plant, it has the root, it has the generic code stored inside the root that it has this internal or innate quality, it can grow. And the right one, the soil, is the external environment for it to grow. Of course, the sun and water was, super simplified, but as long as it's on Earth, planet Earth, right? That's mostly the conditions of the weather conditions we're assuming is plant-friendly conditions. So, and also soil also means it's the type of environment that a plant can grow. If it's, say, rocks or sand, it won't be expressed that way. So if it's soil, that means it's plant supportive environment. So external environment, internal environment, only when both conditions combine together, that means something has the foundations or conditions to exist. So this existence condition was laid out, visualized over here to give you the sense of something is there, because it's sort of like a guaranteed will be there because it has the internal and external conditions met. So therefore, it means existence. And over here, I translate as presence because it's about interpersonal, what kind of vibe you're sending off to whoever you're interacting with. So interpersonal interaction, if you show you're solid and you have your presence, you're existing right there. That's Chinese way to express your authentic, you mean what you say, or you express yourself truthfully. And I put somebody's smiley face, not only because, hey, we want to see more smiley face, but also because when smiling, people sometimes become self-conscious, right? And then they put on some sort of modified smile versus this is somebody's truthful feeling and express like however the face muscles will twisted or contorted. That's how it's authentically express themselves. So I use that smiley face to illustrate that this is what authentic means. This is when Chinese say 实在, you're solid and you have your presence over here combined to mean you mean what you say, or your body language or facial expressions are expressing exactly how you feel inside. All right, cash into the concept thinking by one word a day. See you another.